Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Hipster Podcast. This is your host, Jamil Hassan, the Crypto Hipster, where I bring you founders, entrepreneurs, executives, thought leaders, you name it, across the world of crypto and blockchain all around the world. And I'm excited because it's the second time I've interviewed this company. The first time I've interviewed this lady. Her name is Spring Dunn. She is the director of marketing at SKALE Labs. Spring, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Jamil. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm excited you're here. Hopefully, this will be a wonderful experience for both of us talking about Scale and Scale Labs. So let me kick things off and ask you first: what is your background, and is it a logical background for what you're doing now?
Uh-huh. That's a great question. My background is in marketing and communications. I also received my education, my marketing bachelor's degree from the University of Houston. So I've been doing marketing for 16 years, so still in the same area, and I love marketing. Before Web3, I was, also in marketing, doing mostly technology and events. So I think that really gives me a good, base for my marketing at scale. And I believe my transition was to Web3 was pretty logical. Prior to Scale, I was in the 3D printing field. I worked at a company called MakerBot about 8 or 9 years ago. And when I first started learning about blockchain, I saw a lot of comparisons there. I saw, similar, very cutting edge tech, very niche, very few people who knew about it. So when I started to learn about blockchain, I thought they were comparable. And, so I think that was a logical transition for me, coming from, 3D printing and marketing over to Web3. And, I believe it gave me a strong foundation for scale. So for me, yes, very logical, in my own mind, at least.
Very cool, very cool. So, what is Scale Labs all about, including your focus and your vision?
Sure. Yeah. Scale is dedicated to blockchain scalability and usability. Basically, they were founded to solve the blockchain trilemma, which, if some folks don't know, there's three aspects of blockchain technology to be solved, and that's security, scalability, and decentralization. So Scale is, a fully open source, decentralized project, and was really built, to fix mass adoption with user onboarding and user experience. Like, as you know, right now in crypto, it's difficult. There's just no way that my mother could come on and, send me a transaction or play a game or do anything like that. It's just too complicated. So, the founders of Scale, which are Stan Kladko and Jack O'Halloran, had a really forward-looking thought process about, how mass adoption is going to work. So they really, put all that in mind, and the vision for it was, again, to have easy user onboarding. So we're really focused on providing developers all the tools and infrastructure they need to deploy dApps that are easily scalable and also meet the demands of mass adoption. And we call that on our side an invisible blockchain experience. So hopefully when people come on, they don't even really know they're using blockchain technology. A lot of that stuff is on the back end. So our vision is to have, the entire world be using Web3 in some capacity, and making a change for the better.
Blockchain is difficult. That's an understatement.
I know. I love speaking with my parents about it because they're always so curious on what is it? What do you do? I don't understand. And the lingo, it's a whole different language. Even just saying something like transactions or something that, when you're in the industry, so well, to the newbies and the outsiders, it's a whole new world. So exciting times.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is. It is. So one of the things that you do with the invisible blockchain experience, right? You've saved lots of users so far this year, about $6 billion, right?
Yes.
What's your secret?
Well, I love this question. It's a great question. And, to my knowledge, no other blockchain, can claim savings like that. But, we've saved users almost 6 billion in gas fees to date. From the secret sauce is really from our gasless transaction architecture model. We have a very unique architecture, like I mentioned in the previous question. And, rather than individuals paying transaction fees, we have more of a different setup where, it's similar to AWS. That was the thinking, AWS architecture, and, so many people are cruising the web and checking on all kinds of things. And, a lot of these websites and different platforms use AWS on the back end. But as a user coming, you don't really know if they're using AWS. You don't need to know that. So that was kind of the vision behind Scale was, we need a different way to approach this. And so how it's set up, the gasless transaction model is the developers actually pay rent for their chain. They pay a rental fee. And those rental fees get paid directly to the validators. So the validators are actually rewarded monthly for performance rather than per block, which is predominantly how most of the other blockchains operate. So, it all kind of happens behind the scenes. So as a user, it's fantastic. You don't have to click your wallet all the time. You don't have to, have tokens in your wallet. You don't need the Scale token. So it's all very easy. But the secret sauce was, trying to be innovative and come up with a different way that solves the problem. So, with our blockchain architecture, you can eliminate the gas fees for users, and then the transactions are fast, efficient, cost effective. And, we do millions of transactions today. So that's the secret sauce. We think it's working really well. And, we are an app chain network. So, users or dApps can either have their own chain if they have enough volume, or they can come on a hub as well, which we have a gaming hub, we have a DeFi hub. And so they have shared resources on there. So very different than others. But again, 6 billion and counting quickly. So moving up fast.
I like it. I want to find out first how innovators can begin to build on Scale, because there are a bunch of level 2 chains out there, right? That support Ethereum. So how can people use Scale, and what's the advantage for using Scale?
Sure. Well, again, as I mentioned before, again, Scale is a fully open source, decentralized project. You can go view our code on GitHub. We have all our developer docs that are easily accessible. There's tutorials. There's ways to grab endpoints, but basically, developers and innovators can go and access our resource library. There's documentation, tutorials, SDKs. And, also, I think this is unique to Scale. We do have a dedicated team of support engineers who help projects go live. So, they help with QA, they help with testing, they help with integrations, really supporting dApps who want to build on Scale. We like to say white glove service. So, and they're a really cool team of people, and, great case studies come out of how they help, folks go live, but very easy to onboard. We are fully EVM compatible. We have a lot of different tokens folks can use. So we really think we're super developer friendly, and then, creators can come on and build high performance dApps that's scaled to millions of users pretty easily.
Great. So, you mentioned gaming, you mentioned DeFi. I want to get into those. I will. But recently incorporated some AI optimizing features. I think, we've had a meme season. I think we haven't had AI summer yet. I'm optimistic for me that we're going to have that. But you've incorporated some AI optimizing features. What are they? How do they work? And is AI going to be one of the next core themes, this year, now that we had the Bitcoin halving already?
Oh, I think definitely 100%. We're super excited about AI and DePIN as well. And Scale, like the architecture that I've been discussing, is really perfectly suited for AI dApps. We have many different features, and, they were built to enhance performance and efficiency. The features utilize machine learning algorithms, so you can adjust your network parameters, you can optimize resource allocation, and then basically all that results in an improved throughput and reduced latency. But, the cream of the crop is really the zero gas fees that were built for high performance, because this allows for, limitless innovation. If you don't have gas fees, you can have your workers, they can do everything on their own. And then users, you don't have to, again, click your wallet. And one thing that really is good is it creates predictable cost. If you're an AI dApp coming on Scale, you know your cost. The users aren't going to be paying anything. So you kind of have a peace of mind knowing where that's going to be. But, AI apps require automated high volume transactions that would be impossible without zero gas fees. And then Scale enables, real-time data processing and simplifies user experience by removing the gas. So we're really well suited for data related operations. And then I did want to mention one of our AI dApps who has been on board with Scale for quite a while. Their name is Xord, and they track social sentiment and reactions to events and politics across the world. And they're even able to track news in China and Russia just because of how they're set up. But, they have workers and they execute millions of transactions daily. And again, not possible on other chains. But, as you mentioned, as we enter the, 4-year Bitcoin post-halving cycle, AI is going to continue to be a big theme for us in our development roadmap. And, keep scaling and, keep evolving to the market conditions. So we're super excited about AI and what it's bringing to Scale.
I want to talk about that social sentiment then. My first company out of corporate America was I used Watson to, IBM Watson to cover social sentiment. Had the company for about a year before the ICO took off. I'm interested to know, there are a couple of things going on in the world right now. One of them, I'm in Connecticut, which is near the epicenter of the protests of New York, because of the Palestine and Israel situations we're going on right now. How do you see the sentiment they're tracking, being able to be picked up by AI, and what impact has that had on the market and the macro economic environment?
Great question. I know Xord has been tracking a lot. We actually have a Scale dashboard built so we can even see, what people are thinking about Scale. So, I know one thing that they predicted that I thought was pretty cool was a drop in Bitcoin price. Like, they've been very good with able to see trends in the market, especially with, those places that you can't normally go in there. So I think from a macroeconomic, they can spot trends, they can spot, what's coming up or like events that may happen, how people are feeling. So I think it's a game changer, especially for the political world where, those in charge or those looking to make change can see, what do the people actually think? Because I think a lot of times, especially in politics, you have people getting phone calls, polls happening, you could look at these things, but all those polls are really done by landlines, and, not many people have landlines anymore. So I think it's a very outdated system and really doesn't track the true actual sentiment. So I think these different platforms coming in that are able to actually see what's going on, and they do a lot of tracking on X and Twitter as well. I think that they're going to change the game because it's actually what people are thinking. It's not, age 65 plus who have a landline, we can look at various age groups. So I think it has game-changing components for especially politics, tracking world events. Like, if you're a politician and are curious, what do folks think about, this particular plan that I'm doing? You can go use Xord and see what folks are doing. So again, I think it's a big game changer. We'll see how it plays out in the next few years, but it's pretty cool that they can predict these big things in advance, and and it's actually from real people again, which I think is very, very interesting. So I know I'll be staying tuned. It sounds like you're very interested in it as well. So we can loop back on that in about a year and see where we're at.
I'd love to. I just get, cause I didn't know this until last month, but there's 30 major country elections coming up this fall, and I'm just curious of how that's going to impact the crypto and blockchain landscape,
Me too. Yeah, very interesting, especially, and we'll be able to get some insights into those countries that have adopted Bitcoin as, a means for actual payment too. So yeah, exciting times ahead there. I think for me, that's one of the most interesting elements of blockchain right now is AI and really how that's going to change, not only for creators, but for day-to-day life. So yeah, I'm really excited there.
Very cool. Very cool. So that's politics, or that's AI. You mentioned three other sectors I want to talk about a little bit. First of all, you mentioned DePIN, right?
Mhm.
Uh, what do you see there? What's your role in being able to support the DePIN infrastructure system? And how Scale are going ahead of doing that?
Yeah. So Xort is, an AI DePIN application too. So, again, I think we are onboarding some DePIN stuff now. So we'll have some cool use cases to chat about next time I'm on the show. But, right now it really, again, goes back to the gasless architecture. We do have a type of gas just to clear up because I know some people are curious, like, how does it even operate? But we do have a gas called S Fuel, which is a valueless token. And it's really on the network just to avoid front running MEV, any bots. So there is a plan in place that works to fix that. So I did just want to clarify that point. But again, it goes back to the gas-free transactions. You're not going to be able to operate and do the things you need to do in DePIN if you're having to, even if it's 0.00001, it's still an action you have to do. So I think DePIN, again, will only be able to operate on gasless blockchains. And, I know there's some stuff going on I can't speak about just yet, but, we've got some cool things going out. So definitely stay tuned.
Well, you said something that I had about 5 podcasts in a row and everybody gave me such a different answer. And then he mentioned it, so I got to ask MEV bots, right? Huge, multiple extractable value in the Ethereum at least ecosystem, right? How do you how do you think we fix it? How do you think we fix that? How do we address it? How do we fix it? I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course I'm biased, but I do think Scale has solved that problem pretty well with the current state right now. Like if we didn't have S Fuel, there would still be a probability that some of those, front run and MEV, we've seen some blockchains go down recently because of this, a lot of spam transactions, it's messy out there. So, I think with Scale's current setup, that's really not a possibility there. And then S Fuel is, pretty much already set up in the back end. Like you don't have to fill up your wallet or anything like that. So from my vantage point, I feel like that's the way it's going to be solved. Is there still some type of thing there to avoid those, but they can't just come in and spam. And a lot of the numbers that you're seeing, I feel personally on DApp radar rankings and things like that, there's a lot of spam transactions going on. So I do hope that we evolve out of that within the market. Some dApps do want to get the numbers up on their chains, which is understandable. You want people to know about you, but we need to have an equal playing field, and spam transactions have to go. So either get some S Fuel on your own network or come over to use Scale and you don't have to worry about that.
Sounds good to me. I've seen the spam I've seen has been more on the lines of Telegram and email. You know, emails are really crafty, pretending to be, somebody that like pretending to be Stretto when they're not, as far as bankruptcy, or as pretending to be a community on Telegram where they just duplicated it and it is not the community. Like that kind of marketing spam and scam is what what I get, what I receive. Being a, what do you? How do we stop that?
Oh gosh, it is an epidemic. Even on Discord, I just had one today. I feel like Discord and Telegram are the worst ones. But today I had someone that said, I'm with this well-known media publication and we'd love to, do an article on Scale. Well, unfortunately, it's not a real person who works there. And I haven't learned that the hard way, but you've probably experienced also in, I guess the Web 2 world where you get text messages saying, oh, could you call me back? I need you to buy me some gift cards. It's like, okay. So it's rampant everywhere. I've even heard about, someone will order a computer and you get it and there's like the wrong number to call for support. Like it's really just, it's something. But, I think we've had the same issue where you mentioned with Telegram, where you can easily duplicate and make a brand new chat. And you can't really take those down. There's not a lot of things you can do. You can report spam, but, Telegram doesn't have a customer support team and neither does Discord. So I think they'll eventually evolve. And, we do have some extra Discord bots that we put in place and, you have to solve a CAPTCHA. But I think that's all we can really do right now is, get the duplicates taken down. Oh, and we also had, this popped in my head, we had someone duplicate our website, and they were trying to get you to connect your wallet and, get the free airdrop. So I think airdrops have really caused a lot of this. I definitely find some random stuff in my wallet all the time too, but I think you just have to be proactive, be ahead of the game, and also, be just like super weary of anyone reaching out to you and asking for wallets and stuff. So it's about self-responsibility, but also as a company, we have to make sure that our users aren't getting scammed too. So it's a delicate balance. I think it'll improve over the years, but obviously a big issue right now.
Yeah. When I came into crypto, I had 2 eyes, and now I have like 5 eyes in the back of my head.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's good.
yeah, speaking of 5 eyes in the back of my head, there are certain games where you have little monsters with a whole bunch of eyes, but like, you guys are in the gaming sector, right?
Yes. Yes.
How is Scale a game changer in the gaming sector?
I must say, I love this question. This is a huge area for us. We call it gas-free gaming, and we really, we think it's the future of gaming. I think one of the main issues right now with adoption with blockchain gaming is a lot of Web2 gamers, traditional gamers are, still a little skeptical about the user experience, which makes a lot of sense. And also regarding the graphics being improved, but I think we've made a lot of headway there. But again, thanks to our gas fee architecture, zero gas fee architecture, gamers don't have to hit yes on their wallet constantly. They don't have to, have interruptions. There's no performance issues. Again, they're kind of that invisible blockchain experience that we like to say. So they're just experiencing the gameplay. They're experiencing it like the traditional, Web2 world, because the transactions are recorded instantly on chain and then the user doesn't even know they're happening. So I think by leveraging, our gasless transaction model and the high performance architecture, you can really create immersive gaming experiences with transactions that are done on chain. I think that's another one is a lot of the Web3 games don't necessarily have a lot of the action on chain just because it's so difficult to build right now. So with Scale, you can really do a lot of on-chain stuff, and you can have true asset ownership. You can have really enhanced gameplay mechanics. And, Scale with gaming, there's a lot of momentum there. In 2023, we were named the most active gaming chain by CoinGecko, which was really cool. We also have 5 of the top 25 games on DApp Radar. Some of those are, hosted on our Nebula Gaming Hub, and then some of them are also multi-chain, across many different blockchains. And then, when they join Scale, a lot of their users just want to play on the Scale chain because, again, zero gas fees like that. It's just something that you can't achieve on others. And then our, gaming unique active wallets have grown. I know this number sounds astronomical, 61,000% year over year and also like you were saying with, the 6 billion in gas fee savings. And one other component of this I would have to say is our speed. We have instant finality. As soon as a transaction happens, it's, recorded on the block. And, Dartmouth blockchain did an independent study about, TPS and who was the fastest. And we were named number 1, which was, again, really cool. So we really like to tout the Dartmouth blockchain. And then just a few games coming up from Scale that we're really excited about. They're in beta right now. We've got Stray Shot, Fuzzy Fox and Haven's Compass. And if you go check out their gameplay footage, it does not look like Web3 gaming. It looks really cool. It looks super fun to play. We've got some gamers and different DAOs playing with them now, but at Scale, we're really excited for these games to go live because we think it's really going to change the way people view blockchain gaming. But, again, with Scale, we think blockchain gaming and AI are really great use cases to use this. And then, again, we just want to empower developers to build whatever they want to do, unlimited potential to come over with gaming on Scale. So again, really excited for that question. We think, in 6 months, the market will be changed from these new games coming out. So stay tuned with Scale.
I would think that the fastest were Polygon or Hedera, but you're fastest. That's something to tout. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it was, again, done by a third party. So there were a few, I'll just say this, there were some that were touting they were fastest, but they were doing their own testing. And I just don't think that's a fair way to do it. You really have to have external folks, but we're still trying to make it faster too. So I think there'll be a heated competition and who can keep this crown over the years.
I like it. You did say 2 words there. You said actually 3 words. You said immersive experience, and you said multi-chain. And I'm thinking, it's been a while since I talked to anybody about the hype word. It's not a hype word. It's a metaverse. Been a couple of years, but with the immersive experiences and the fact that you're fast and can, and accurate and have immersive experiences, do you see the future of gaming being in the metaverse? Where are we at as far as a subsector or industry within crypto?
That's a great question. I definitely see it being fully immersive. I personally don't have a VR headset, but I would love one if anyone's out there. But I'm just kidding. But I think, I would have to say the things I see happening in Asia and Japan and Korea, just like what they're doing and regarding immersive experiences, I think a lot of that's going to also come on chain. But definitely, I think the metaverse is the future of gaming. I think it's going to be fully immersive where you feel like you're part of the game. Like no longer are we okay with the Sims anymore. We want to have a full immersive experience. So I think definitely the metaverse is the way things are going. And I know I'm keeping close tabs on the space too.
Great. Wonderful. So I want to shift gears a little bit because I haven't also talked about this topic for a couple of years. And I know you have a background in it. It's blockchain for philanthropy, right? That's gotten lost in the shuffle with the gaming and not the game with gambling meme coins recently and other stuff in the market. Blockchain is supposed to be for social impact as well as for monetary impact. What will take back on track as far as crypto for philanthropy?
Oh, that's a great question. I really like this one. I totally agree. Blockchain for philanthropy, it's kind of been overshadowed with meme coin right now, just because it's new and fun and exciting. But I definitely believe it's essential to refocus on, the potential of blockchain for social impact. One statistic I read that I thought was pretty cool was the average donor in the current nonprofit sector is 64. And then the average age of crypto users is 38. So I feel there's a lot of room for, youngers, those who, the Gen Yers, they are wanting to change the world. And I understand it. So I think there's a lot of room for growth and innovation in this sector within, philanthropy. And, there's, of course, donation wise, I think that's huge. A lot of folks can take donations from around the world where you wouldn't be able to. But for me personally, I'm very focused on conservation and tracking climate change, which I think is huge on blockchain because, it will be all stored on chain. It's immutable. It's secure data distribution and, things like protecting endangered species. You can monitor the wildlife on the chain. You could share the information between government, academia, environment groups. I just think there's so many things we could be doing to protect nature and animals. And, there's also enhancing transparent supply chains, which would be, for food and, different ways to just make sure, you're eating good stuff for yourself. And another thing I've seen within philanthropy is NFT fundraising, where people sell NFTs and a small piece goes to whatever organization they like. So I think there's just so much innovation here. And, in order to kind of pivot back, get on track, as you put, I think there's room for everything. I think there's room for memes to have their people too. And then I also think some have here. So some have, philanthropy. So I think there'll just be a pivot as time goes on. More people will come back here. And of course, around tax season, when donations, I know I personally donated via crypto for my donations. And again, it's an asset, so it's a little different when you come to taxes, but we don't have to go down that road. But I think there's some really cool use cases there. Another one I really enjoy that I support is Open Forest Protocol, which just tracks deforestation and things like that. So, I think it'll really get back on track maybe when more people form groups and, it just gets bigger and more people learn about philanthropy. And so I think we're on the really early stages there, but again, there's room for everyone in crypto. So I don't think memes are here to stay too. Meme coins.
I like the idea of inclusion. There's room for everybody. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. I'm not going to talk about taxes.
I know. I worked at a crypto tax software it's called ZenLedger prior to joining Scale, which was my first foray into blockchain. So I have some knowledge there, but yes, it's a little dry subject, so we don't have to go down that path.
Yeah. No, I had some losses with Celsius, and I'll be carrying them over for many years.
Yes. Well, that's
So, yeah. So I want to thank you very much for your time today. I really enjoyed meeting you and talking to you. I have one last question. It's pretty much easiest. How can people find out more information about you, about SKALE Labs? How can they do that?
Sure. Great. Yeah, definitely. We're scale.space is our website, Scale Network on X. Pretty much anything Scale, you can find us. We actually just launched one cool thing. We just launched our own staking portal as of today. So, our portal is portal.scale.space. So, and we're Scale, SKALE. So a little bit of playing on scale because we are, an L2 and we do support Ethereum and want to see it grow. So, and a little bit about me. My name is Spri Dunn. You can find me on LinkedIn. I have my own X account, and again, I've been with Scale for about 2.5 years, and we're super excited about the future of the impact we're going to make there. And we'll be having a AI spaces next week as well on X. So if you'd like to join that, we'll have some of our biggest AI dApps on there to speak about it. But again, just give us a search, reach out to me on email. Happy to chat further. We're all very excited. And, we're a small team too at Scale, where there's about 35 of us total, including the engineers. So we're a very close-knit team. We're all in this together and would love to hear from anybody if they reach out.
Awesome. Sounds wonderful. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Jamil. This has been great.